And what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Manga Grove. My name is Kresha, and this is today's Bitcoin and some random altcoin analysis video. Although, I'll kind of just cut to the chase. I kind of just, went through the comment section because, well, last time I asked you guys, which altcoin do you want me to cover? Because I was super bored of doing Chainlink and Ethereum. And, while going through the comment section, I noticed that, Cardano actually got the most votes. Actually, it was a tie between Cardano and Strat. And I was kind of like, not pleasantly surprised. I can't use the word pleasantly, but I was surprised that, people wanted me to do an analysis on Strat. I mean, I haven't looked at the chart in a very, very long time. However, I just went through it. I kind of just, glanced at it. And I do believe Strat is looking weak, okay? There's not much I can really extrapolate from that chart because it's like in this really, really nasty downtrend. Yes, it's sitting on support, but I don't believe there's too much to dissect. Now, while going through the comment section, when I saw, someone had asked for Cardano, John Wolf, there were 5 upvotes, okay, on Cardano, and he also mentions that next month it will have, dApps, and in general, it's starting to be bullish on the fundamental side. Okay, so fundamental news is coming up for Cardano. However, I have not fact-checked this. I'm just going off of the comment right now, so I'll have to kind of look into the fundamental side of things. But you know what? I'm going to take it at face value. So we will be covering Bitcoin and Cardano today. I got a couple of requests on XRP. Now, for those of you who are looking at XRP, I do believe that XRP is looking rather interesting. Okay, let's not jinx that one now. XRP has been in like a perpetual downtrend. Like, you have not gone wrong shorting that chart. That for once in a blue moon, it's actually looking relatively bullish. It's like the bulls are taking over. It's kind of odd. But anyways, like I said, let's not jinx it. We will cover XRP one of these days. However, for today's agenda, we're going to be sticking to Bitcoin and Cardano. So let's get into the charts. We will be starting off with, Bitcoin because, we closed a weekly candle today. And what were we looking for on the weekly? So if I just zoom into price, apologies for the super, super messy chart. I'm going to get rid of any line that I'm not going to be using. And that's going to be that pink one right there. Some random arrow, I don't know why that's there, and this nasty pink line right here. Cool. So the last week, okay, we closed relatively well, I believe. Okay, so what we were looking for now, the last video I did for you guys was on the Saturday, and I told you that I'll be looking for Bitcoin to maintain that weekly uptrend, which we have managed to do, right? And not just that, I also made an observation that Bitcoin was living over the Tenkin. We have not lost the Tenkin ever since we started that weekly uptrend, okay, since that COVID dump. So we have not lost the Tenkin. We are currently hugging the Tenkin, and however, we are living over it. So that is a good sort of sign for the bulls. Even the massive dump that we did have on this candle where when we grazed that 21 EMA, that week, guys, not only did we actually take out the 21 EMA, but we also took back that Tenkin that we lost, on the intra-week timeframes. So that is good, okay? However, please note that Bitcoin is still very much in a sandwich. Okay, we're still very much in an SNR sandwich. The support underneath us being that Tenkin, okay, which is currently sitting at 10.5K. And the resistance overhead is, I believe, sitting at 11K, going all the way up to that 10 SMA, which is also at around 11,052. Okay, to be like super, super precise. It's like, so if you look at the structure right now, okay, we're putting in these higher lows, which is good, right? However, we are also putting in lower highs. Now, lower highs on a technical standpoint is a bearish sort of trend. However, if you really have to kind of consider both sides of the equation, both sides of the coin, higher lows and lower highs, when you have to think of that, the first thing I think of is a symmetrical triangle in terms of the entire trend. We're sort of squeezing in right now, right? So when I get onto those lower time frames, say let's get onto the daily, I'm expecting a symmetrical triangle there. So I did draw out a symmetrical triangle. You probably saw that on the weekly time frame already. I'm going to put on my volume nose. I do believe that we have the volume to support that as well, okay? However, irrespective of that triangle, now let's kind of just step away from the pattern for a second and just look at the overall sort of structure price. Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and switch on my Ichimoku Cloud. I'm going to turn everything off, okay? And what I notice here is that Bitcoin is almost like in a no trade zone, on those intra-week timeframes, at least for me personally. Okay, I don't believe it's trending anywhere. In fact, we're actually choppy. The daily is kind of printing the picture for us very, very clearly. We are choppy on some major points of support and resistance. Now, that 21 Tenkin, I'm actually also going to switch on my 10 SMA very quickly. Beautiful. And I want you to notice how price has just been oscillating, just kind of taking it back, losing it, taking it back, losing it. So it's been oscillating in that. And so it's not really trending anywhere on those intra-week timeframes, right? And not just that, the other observation I really made on this chart was as soon as we broke into the Ichimoku Cloud here on the daily time frame, we have been oscillating within the boundaries of the cloud. And usually when price is inside the cloud, it is known as a no trade zone. It's a very, very cloudy picture, right? So I think this market right now, price action right now on Bitcoin's chart at the very least, is favorable for those who are scalping. Now, I personally do not scalp. I trade the ranges. If there's a good range to be had, I'll trade the ranges, or I will look for a trend trade. As things stand right now, I don't believe Bitcoin is in either. Yes, I have a spot position. I've been building a spot position for like a very, very, very long time now, but that's as far as it goes for my trading activities on Bitcoin. Now, question is, where does Bitcoin really go from here, right? What do we expect? And I feel like that picture is really going to, come to us on those lower time frames. I feel like depending on what the lower time frames do from here, that is going to establish, or rather that will have cascading effects onto the daily time frame going all the way up to the weekly time frame. Okay, so now let's get onto some of those minor time frames. Let's get onto the 4-hour time frame and see what the 4 hour is telling us. I do believe that the 4-hour time frame has painted a rather great picture for us so far in terms of really dictating where price action goes leading up to that weekly close. So as things stand right now, Bitcoin had a rather clear breakdown of that head and shoulders top. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that out right here, right? That was the head and shoulders top. Ouch, that is a messy chart. So messy. Okay, but anyways, we had a breakdown here and it was at this point, okay, this is at 10,691. Once again, to be super precise, I'm just literally reading numbers off of my my scale there. I don't mean to be too, specific about it. But that was the breakdown point. And usually what I look for, okay, when it comes to patterns and breakdown points and how price reacts off of the breakdown points, if I'm looking for a sort of a turn in trend, the first thing I'll be looking for is for price to start living over that point, that breakdown point. And as things stand right now, guys, we are living over that breakdown point. That last 4-hour candle, Bitcoin actually closed over that breakdown point. And not just that, if you look at the overall structure of what's happening right now, we have a series of higher highs and higher lows. And not just that, we're about to get a bullish crossover set up between the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA. And I want you to notice how both those slopes are positive slopes. Okay, so they're not running sideways, they're not horizontal lines, just entangling between each other like we're seeing on the daily time frame, but they both have these positive slopes and it's pretty steep at this point. And we're about to get that crossover set up. And not just that, Bitcoin has held that Kijun for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 4-hour candles now as support. Okay, we currently broke out of that breakdown point sitting at 10,691. And if we can hold that as support, and we can start trudging up from there, I will be looking at that as a bullish stance, at which point I'll be expecting the bulls to take over on that 4-hour time frame. All right, what I am looking for here is for the bulls to establish an uptrend. And for the uptrend to be established, I will be looking out for how Bitcoin reacts off the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA, okay? If we start trudging up from here, what I'll be looking for next is how Bitcoin reacts to this diagonal, marking those lower highs, okay? That is a trend, okay? That's a downtrend that we have on that weekly time frame, the daily and that weekly time frame. If we can start taking out these wick highs right here, okay, on the 4-hour time frame, I will be looking at it as a break in trend, at which point I do believe that the bulls are going to take over from there. Okay, and we will start testing higher levels on Bitcoin, possibly getting all the way up to this 11,072 region, which is also the weekly 10 simple moving average. All right, what's really going to set precedent for the bulls here is us actually taking out these wick highs. All right, now these wick highs are sitting at around 10,900, going all the way up to, well, 10,009, so in that $10,900 range. However, of course, there's always a flip case to price action, right? You can't just be bullish or bearish. You need to have a good sort of holistic understanding of what the chart is telling you. Now, so far, yes, the 4-hour is looking rather bullish. However, if we have a break in this trend right here, now we have this 4-hour uptrend that Bitcoin has established. Yes, it's a rather steep one. However, if we start breaking the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA to the downside, okay, I will be looking at it as a break in that 4-hour trend, at which point I'll be looking for a test of the Tenkin, which is sitting at 10.5K. If we lose the Tenkin, I'll be looking at 10.4K as the next region of support that Bitcoin is likely to test, and that also lines up with the bottom of that symmetrical triangle that we were looking at on the daily time frame. What is to note here overall on those macro timeframes is that Bitcoin is in a squeeze situation. All right. And depending on what happens here, I think depending on which side we break in, I think the volatility is really, really going to pick up. And volatility, guys, for traders out there, okay, I'm not talking about investors, not hodlers, I'm talking about traders. Volatility is opportunity. Okay, especially on a coin, on a chart like Bitcoin or any of the coins that you can trade on leverage. All right, if it's volatile, that is opportunity for you, because as traders, we need to know how to long and short the market. Okay, there's always opportunity on both sides of the market, especially if it can be traded on leverage. Cool. Now, of course, leverage, guys, please, risk management first. Now, for those of you in the Mango Seed program, you have the entire risk management system. I implore everyone to use it and use it well. If you have any questions, just post on the Seed chat and we'll go over it. But I always tell people this, that if I don't have my risk management in place, like if I'm not able to go through my system before I put on my trade, I just don't put on the trade at all. Like it's so crucial to me that I actually get to my system first, put in all the numbers, understand what's going on, understand my, how much risk I have on the table before actually taking the trade. If I'm not able to do that, I will step away from the trade. I don't care how good it's looking. I'm very, very critical about these things because in the long run, it is what has kept me safe. It is what has kind of allowed me to sleep when I have open positions. It is everything for me. That is the main edge. That is Mango's edge. The Seed members, you guys already have that, so use that. Use it. It is powerful. Okay. Now, this is what Bitcoin's doing on the 4-hour time frame, and well, you have my thoughts on the weekly. It is a squeeze situation right now on the 4-hour time frame. The bulls are in control. Okay. What I'll be looking for, if we take out these highs here, well and good, we go up further. However, if we start breaking the 2110 to the downside, I think we're coming down further, all the way down to 10.5K next region, going all the way down to 10.4K. All right, so now let's get on to Cardano BTC. Cardano. Actually, let's go on to Cardano USDT first. I want to see what it's doing relative to USDT, because that's really going to set precedent there. So Cardano USDT, I'm going to sort of assess this on those higher time frames. And okay, so I kind of clearly already went through this chart not too long ago. And here's what I'm noticing. I'm noticing that Cardano is still sort of maintaining its higher low structure on the weekly time frame. Okay, which is a good thing. It's a good thing for the bulls. However, I still want to see a little more strength. I want to see a little bit more oomph from them. So right now we are squeezed between a range, okay? Support and resistance. Once again, I do like playing Cardano off of the horizontals because I do believe that it does relatively well off of it. It's a good guide. All right, it's a good guide and really telling us where the trend is about to go, where it's about to, who's about to establish that trend. Is it going to be the bulls or is it going to be the bears? So the uppermost resistance point that we have here is sitting at 10 cents, okay? And the support is sitting at around 9 cents. I'm going to round that up. So currently we're in that squeeze, okay? This is not much of a range. I mean, it's a range, it's a decent enough range, but I believe that breaking on either side is going to lead to an even more volatile move. Okay, now this is an 11% range from the resistance going down to the support, but I like the fact that we're maintaining those higher lows, and I want to see that. Okay, I want to see these higher lows being maintained. Allow me to just draw that out for you, for Cardano to actually see a push to the upside. Okay, what I'll be looking out for, if the bulls have to take over from here, I'm going to look for Cardano to live over that 10-cent region. As soon as we have daily candle body closes over 10 cents, and I want you to notice how it's lining up with that Tenkin there. Okay, now, of course, these horizontals that I have are all derived from past price action. Okay, this has nothing to do with cloud levels. So we have that horizontal there, and it is sitting in line with the Tenkin. If we start closing over those regions, okay, over that 10-cent region, I will be looking for continuation going all the way up to 12 cents. We may get a stutter stop on the way somewhere at the 10 SMA going up to this region right here at around 11 cents, okay, but ultimately I'll be looking for a move all the way up to 12 cents as soon as we start closing consecutive candle body closes over that 10-cent region. I've always sort of, I've been punished, waiting on that weekly time frame for a lot of volatile charts. What I'm noticing is that this entire range is a volatile range. So it's likely not going to give you a chance, okay, to get in on the weekly. When it comes to volatile ranges, I'm noticing that price just breaks up and has a swift move. It doesn't wait on the weekly close. Okay, so if we're stuck here waiting on the weekly close, we may very well miss the move. So what I will be looking for, I'll be looking for signs on those lower time frames. So as soon as, if I pan it over to my daily, as soon as Cardano starts living over this region on the daily time frame, I'm looking for consecutive candle body closes over that 10-cent region. I will be looking for continuation. First point of resistance I will be looking at is going to come in at 11 cents as soon as we clear that out. And I think we'll probably be lining up with cloud resistance at that point as well. As soon as we clear that out, I'll be looking for continuation all the way to 12 cents. And this looks like a pretty decent range. From the horizontal all the way up to the Kijun is going to be 12%. And, well, all the way up to, the next point of resistance is going to be 27%. So it's going to be a fairly volatile range to be taking advantage of if we do break to the upside. However, of course, there's always a downside case to this. And what I want you to notice here on the daily time frame is that we are being held down by that 10 simple moving average right now. And also we have cloud resistance right above us. Okay, so this too is like a squeeze on the daily. We're sandwiched between the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA. If we start breaking down, okay, if we start losing the 21 EMA, I will be looking for price to come all the way down to the Tenkin. Losing this region of support at around 9 cents is going to take price, first down to 8 cents. That's going to be our first point of support, okay, on those lower time frames, the daily time frame. If we start losing 8 cents, we're going to start testing these lows here. Okay, testing these lows and taking those out to the downside is going to set in a bearish outlook for Cardano USDT. So then irrespective of what Cardano BTC is doing, if Cardano USDT is looking nasty, the bulls are not in control. Okay, if Cardano USDT is looking really bad, it's looking bearish, and Cardano BTC is looking great, it's basically telling us that BTC is just trending down harder. All right. Ultimately, if you're bullish on a chart, what you want to look for is the asset to be strong. You want that bullish momentum. You want buy pressure coming in, not sell pressure. Okay, so I'll be looking for the Cardano USDT chart to start picking up steam on the bullish side if I want to anticipate any further move to the upside. Okay, if I want to get truly bullish, this is the chart I'm going to be looking at. This is the pair I will be looking at. So now for those of you who are playing the fundamental side of things, now big shout out to John Wolf from the comments section for, telling us a little bit about the releases. I'll go and look into those, of course, but I think it's going to be prudent right now to get a good understanding of the technicals, okay, in addition to the fundamentals, because honestly, guys, there's never been a time where the fundamentals and the technicals have been so detethered, if you know what I'm saying. Like it's just so out of whack. Like there are coins that are just trending that have absolutely no fundamentals to it, okay? And then there are coins that have fundamentals, okay, and they're just not budging. So it's good to have an understanding, even if it is a small understanding of what price action is telling you. Because at the end of the day, this is going to tell you who's on the chart. Are there people entering? Is there buy pressure? Is there sell pressure? So it's good to have a holistic understanding of what the underlying cryptocurrency is actually doing. Especially for those of you who are trading, okay, trading the underlying cryptocurrency. If you're a hodler, if you're a long-term investor, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you are in this to make a profit, you need to have a holistic understanding of what the chart and the fundamentals are telling you. Okay, it is very, very important. That will really up your game. It's going to take your game to the next level. All right, now this is all I have for you for Cardano as well as Bitcoin. Now, for those of you who want me to cover any other coin for tomorrow's video and all the videos after that, just mention in the comment section below, but do me a favor. So, of course, mention the coin that you want me to cover. Make sure it is on TradingView. Okay, that's number one. Number two, make sure it has enough price action to this. Okay, so I need something that is rich in price action. And in addition to that, now just kind of scroll down through the comments to see if your coin has been mentioned. Okay, if it's been mentioned, just like that comment. That will allow me to gauge how many, upvotes it has without me having to kind of scroll through the entire thing, because sometimes, I'll miss it. Okay, so just mention in the comment section below, or just like the one that is appropriate to your choosing. And yeah, we'll cover it in the next video. Perfect. Thanks for tuning in. Trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way, guys. Ciao.